Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a sewing tutorial for this adorable string backpack. This is Super Mario themed. I'm also going to be adding some rickrack and adding some gems to bling it out. Now this pattern is adapted from Made Every Day and I'll link that down in the description. I'm changing it up by adding some interfacing just to stabilize it. I'm starting by ironing my fabric and I'm going to cut two pieces 16 by 17 inches, and all of this is going to be in the description box. I'm using some fusible mid-weight interfacing just on the back of one side. I'm ironing that into place, and that will just give it a little bit more stability than the lightweight cotton. So again, I've got two pieces of fabric that are 16 by 17, and one side I've added some interfacing to. So I'm going to put those right sides to right sides. This is a really easy beginner project, but pay close attention. Now I'm going to mark 2 inches down and 1 inch down. And that little spot there is going to be where the drawstring goes through. So let's clip that off or pin that off. I love these clips. And we're going to mark the other side the exact same way. So let's just see, we're 2 inches down and then 1 more inch down. And we're gonna sew about halfway down, but we're not sewing in that little 1 inch section between the 2 inch mark and the 1 inch mark. So we're gonna go halfway down the side. And I should say that the 16 inches is across the top and it's the 17 inches for your length. Now we're gonna back stitch there and we're gonna skip over that inch, and then we will pick it back up at the end and sew that last part. And again, that part where we didn't sew, that little opening is going to be where our drawstrings go through. And just give it a little back stitch, and that is your first seam. Now we're gonna repeat that on the other side, and then we're just gonna press those seams open. Just pressing those flat on the inside. And you can see here, that is our little opening that we're gonna have for our drawstrings. So next, we're just gonna spin that around and repeat that same ironing on the next side. Next, we're gonna press the top edge over about 1/4 inch, and then we're going to fold that over, making sure that that little opening that we created for the drawstring is at the top of that seam. Sorry, that got cut off there for a minute. I hope you can see that there. So we're going to make sure that we fold that, and we're gonna press it so that that little opening is on the other side right there. Then we're just gonna sew along that edge, and we're gonna do that all the way around the top. Once that's finished, we'll be ready to add some decorative rickrack, and I'm just sewing that right over the sewing line that we just did. So basically just right at the seam of that top casing. Now this is just for decorative purposes, so you can omit that if you want, but I think it looks pretty cute. Okay, let's go ahead and thread our laces that they're going to go through that hole there. I'm using some cording here. We're going to cut 2 pieces, and my pieces were 67 inches each, and we're going to thread it through. I put a safety pin on the end, and we're starting on one side and threading it through that casing. And when we get to the middle section, we're not going to pull it out. We're going to go through it all the way, and we're going to come out right where we started. So we're passing through here, we're not pulling it out when we get to the middle. We're gonna go right past that, and then we're going to pull it out at the other side. So wherever you start is where you wanna end up. And then we're gonna repeat that process on the other side. And that will create your 2 backpack straps that will be drawstrings. So again, threading it through, passing over the center, and then pulling it back out exactly where you started. And once you've done that, you will now have your drawstrings. When you pull it, it will cinch closed at the top. Now we're going to attach them to the inside of our backpack, and we're gonna turn that with the inside, the right sides to the inside, and we're gonna go ahead and pull those cords inside, and that's going to create the straps. Then we're going to sew each one of them about 1.5 inches up from the bottom along the side edge of the backpack. And I'm doing several stitches here just to give it some extra durability. Now go ahead and do that on both sides and then clip or pin. And now we're going to sew the whole backpack closed, going all the way around each side and across the bottom. Very simple. Now I'm going to clip that corner. Let's go ahead and turn that right side out so you can get a peek there. And it's looking so cute. So we've got our cords there. We can pull them and cinch that up. Let's go ahead and make those corners look nice. I'm just using a little pokey tool. You can see those are good and secure. Look how cute that turns out. Okay, let's add some bling. I want to add a little gems and some sparkle to this. So I'm going to add a layer of wax paper just in between my fabric layers, just in case any of the glue seeps through. And I'm pulling out a little bit of gem glue, and I'm just using some lightweight plastic gems. This is a wax pencil, and I'm gonna go ahead and just use a toothpick to add the glue where I want it. And that wax pencil, that's like a grease pencil from an office supply store. You can use that to pick up your gems. These are those diamond painting gems, and these are great for fabrics because they are so tiny. So it may take you a while to fill in your design, but just add gems wherever you want to add a little extra bling. Adding some jewelry to her, and I love on my little mushroom, look at him. This is a great sewing project for a beginner. Even kids can make this. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll be back here again with another fun theme park adventure and more sewing tutorials. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to see more of our content. And don't forget to turn on that bell.